For this lesson, let's draw the North Pole. I'm going to start with a cylinder, very loose, very relaxed. Just draw a circle at the very, very top, and then we're going to have this circle, this sphere, sitting on the cylinder. Okay, so this will be the top of the North Pole, the sphere. I said cylinder. A good way to start a lesson by confusing you. Put a dot below the middle. Go ahead and zoom in on that. We'll take it. There you go. We'll let you see what I'm doing. Okay, so we start with the sphere. Put a dot, a guide point below the middle. Now, remembering our positions. Remember the box. We always come back to this box. Remember the box. Remember the direction northeast and northwest. Remember these two directions. Okay. Remember on the drawing compass, remember this, these are the four most used directions that we're going to use. So right away we're going to use that foreshortened square going up direction northeast in that direction. Turn the corner going uphill to the left here. This is in direction northwest. Now watch this. The dot's right below. I'm going to make this foreshortened square, so I'm going to go behind it, okay, behind the sphere from right here, following the guidelines, following the lines you've already drawn. Draw that line and then turn the corner here, following this line, following the line you've already drawn. Look at a nice foreshortened square there, right behind. I'm going to darken in the sphere on the top of the North Pole. Then let's put some thickness lines. Draw these vertical lines straight down. And now, the near part of this, kind of the pedestals, it's the platform for the sphere. This is larger, and it gets smaller as it moves away. This is size. That's one of those words, and this is going to get a little bit smaller as it moves away. And remember, sometimes it's easier to twist your paper if you have to draw that line nice and dark, okay? Now, go ahead and pull the camera out just a bit, right there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw that cylinder for the North Pole, following about the same thickness as that sphere on top. So very lightly, we'll just confidently sketch these two vertical lines, following the line. See, this is vertical, this is vertical, this is vertical. So this will be like that barber pole, okay? The North Pole will have the stripes, the candy cane stripes coming down it. Now, I'm going to make mine pretty tall, so go ahead and pull out just a little bit, and I'll move it up for you. Right there's good. And then curve the bottom. Here's contour. Now, I'm going to curve this almost as much as this curve on the sphere on top. So curve the bottom. Okay, put a dot. Now following this dot, this guide point, you can even draw a light line if you want. Put a dot right below the middle. That's going to be your technique. That's a little magic illusion. Make sure you put the dot right there, and that is very close to the bottom of the curve. It's going to help you keep your foreshortened square positioned. Following these guidelines you've already drawn, we're going to go uphill here. We're going to put another foreshortened square, following the lines above it. Okay, turning the corner over here. I'm going to follow the guidelines. Go and zoom in just a bit for me so we can see there you go, right there's good. Right there. Now, I'm going to go uphill, following the guidelines above it as much as you can, okay? So I'll keep going back and referring to the lines I've drawn before. We're not going to go to the corner. We're going to go behind the corner. We're not going to go to the corner. I'm going to go behind my eyes keep darting. See, I'm not doing it with my pencil as much, but my eyes are darting back and forth. See that nice, isn't that a great foreshortened square? Now these lines technically should line up, you know, these lines should be straight down, right? But mine aren't quite exactly the same. That's all right. You don't have to be exactly perfect, engineering schematically correct. It's all right. We're just illustrating an idea right now. If you want to do an engineering sketch later, that's fine. But right now it's just loose and sketchy. We're just learning how to put these things together correctly. Middle line's longer. Go uphill here to the right. Turn the corner. Go uphill to the left. This is direction northwest. Okay. Coming down here. See, now this is larger than this. This should be larger than this, but that's okay. I'm not going to start erasing everything. I'm just going to kind of fix it a little bit here. Just kind of fake it. Just fudge it just a little bit here. Now I'm going to put a bunch of snow down here. Piles of snow. Okay. It's going to be sitting in the snow. So we'll draw the curve at the bottom. See this big clump here. I'm going to following the guideline, put a couple clumps, some big and some small, big snow clumps here. Some big, some small. Look at this. It's sitting in the ice and the snow in the North Pole. Now right here at the very edge, why don't you zoom in right here and we'll see what we're doing here. Keep coming right there. Let's darken this in. So what I will do is I'm going to use my handy click eraser. I will lighten this up. I went a little dark on this line. I want to lighten it up so you can see what I'm doing here. I will lighten that up just a bit. Okay, my handy brush here. And then, now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to darken in this big clump of snow. Look at that. I got to darken. I got to erase that even more so you can see what I'm doing. Now look at this. I'm going to put a small clump and a big clump, a couple small and a big, and look at this. Now from the very edge right here, I'm going to put a couple little curves like this. Look at that. Isn't that neat? Now over here, I'm going to put another clump of snow, little clumps, some big and some small, a couple more big ones. And then the fun part is when you go ahead and get really dark here. Get the nook and crannies. Get real dark down inside there. Go ahead and start shading the nook and crannies, and we'll smooth this out with our blender in just a second here. Here's some more. Look at this. Some more clumps of snow here. Look at a couple clumpies. I think I get all quiet. I'm concentrating on making my snow clumps. A couple little clumps here. Okay. Now pull back out. Let's take a look at our whole drawing. And all right. Now we'll get, okay, right there is good, and we'll work on the clumps in just a second. What I'm going to do first of all, let's darken in, darken in your edges, and then let's go ahead and darken and put that nice nook and cranny shadow. I'm going to get it really dark under there and under there. I'm going to keep the light source coming from this area over here. It's always important to determine where's your light position coming from. All right, and then the light's up here. I'm going to take my handy little piece. You could use the side of your pencil if you want. You can go like this with the side of your pencil to shade. That's fine. But what I'm going to do is I'll just use a little chunk of number 2H pencil lead here. I love these little chunks because my drawing is kind of big to shade it. So it won't take me all day to shade. I'm going to come right down the side. Put a little more pressure on the left side. Look at this. It's dark on the left and it's going lighter as it moves across, okay? Go ahead and shade this in, and I'll clean that up in just a second. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little shadow across the ground over here. Shadow coming from the left, okay? Now, very interesting. Now I'll take my pencil, I'll go ahead and even out. Now this is two different kinds of shading. On the sphere at the very top, this is going to be blended shading. It's dark at the top. See? The sun hits right here. The light hits right here. X marks the spot. It's going to be really dark, and you blend it. Isn't that interesting? Look at this. See that? You blend it. Lighter and lighter. You can use your finger to blend it if you want. Go ahead and zoom in on that for me for a second here. Right here. Keep coming in. Keep coming. Look at this. Right into there. Right there. See, the light's coming from over here. It hits here, so it's really dark underneath. It gets lighter and lighter. Now, what I'll do is I want to put a little shadow, cast shadow, following the guideline in that direction. Look at this. I'm going to put this shadow right there. Look at that. You can clean that little extra area up if you want. And then this is a different kind of shading. You can make it an even tone. It's not blended though. It's blended on this sphere, but on this box, on this foreshortened square, it's the same value. It's not blended. Now, down here, it's going to be dark on the side, but it will be blended from dark to light. So look at this. I'll use my blender, and I'll push really hard on the left side away from the light, and I'll move it out lighter and lighter. See, as it comes toward the middle. It's dark on the edge, and it gets lighter and lighter. We're blending it. Blending from dark to light, okay? And I want to make it really smooth. There you go. Look at that. Isn't that neat? This goes from dark to light to light to light. Darker, darker. In fact, you can take your pencil, get it even darker over here if you want. Okay, pull back now. And let's take a look at this, how it's shaping up. Look, it's a wonderful shading exercise right there. It looks great. And I'll do the same thing down here. We'll smooth this out. This is not blended. This is a square object, so it's a solid tone. Isn't that fun? Now I'm going to work down here on these little snow clumpies, little clumps of snow. Lots of little snow clumps. Little piles. All right, this is cool. All right, this kind of reminds me of the treasure chest we drew that was buried in the sand. All right, now go ahead. Let's you can take your finger. You can take your finger and blend it if you want. You can use your finger to add this little texture to the snow. And look at that, that's great. Oh, now we have to add the barber pole stripes, all right? The candy cane stripes. So from right here, for the North Pole, from right here, let's start about right from this point. And I want to curve it down to about right here. So I'll start here following the contour. Remember the curving contour of that cylinder. Curve it around, coming around to the point. Now I'll start from right here, coming down to about right there. Important to put your guide points from here, curving the contour, curving it down, it comes around to the edge. And then I'll just draw another one curving. Then I'm going to draw another one curving. And then I'm going to draw another one curving. See, look at they disappear down here. See that? This one's curving up. You can curve down or curve up. But look, it's coming down at an angle. We're going to create this kind of a candy stripe or a barber stripe. They disappear. They're hidden underneath this nice dark shadow. That underneath there. Isn't that fun? Okay. And then, now what I'll do is since this one's all dark already, let's start right here. And I'll darken in this stripe. And you can add any kind of texture or patterns. Your eye loves to see a repeated pattern. See, this is an art word that we're adding. There's 12 drawing fundamental words that I talk about. There's shading, and there's horizon, and there's shadow. You can click that printables button on your computer screen, and you can see the 12 fundamental drawing words. Well, there's also 22 art terms, art ideas, art concepts that make your drawing more beautiful to look at, make it more delicious for your eye. Art is like dessert for your eye, see? So these stripes, that's an art word. Stripes, repetition's an art word, see? See this? See the curving, the nice shape, diagonal stripes? See this? Repeated pattern and bounce. There you go. Excellent job. Let me center that. Go ahead and zoom in just a bit. Right there. Look at that. That is just a wonderful drawing. Great practice for blended shading and learning some more extra art words. Way to go. I'll see you on the next lesson. Yeah.